Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. My name is Tom Ollerton. I'm the founder of Automated Creative, and this is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads and discuss what's good and bad about them. And we are brought to you as ever, as sort of for the time being, hopefully forever, by Contagious. So please go and check those guys out after the show. They have chosen the ad this week, so thanks for that, guys. So let's meet this week's guests.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm Media and Campaign Manager at Betfair.
Hi, I'm Vic Miller and I'm VP of Comms at Brandwatch.
I'm Giancarlo Martins, Comms Lead for Kahlua at Pernod Ricard.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Let's see this week's ad. Or is it an ad? Or is it a campaign video? Who knows?
Hey there, football fan. Surely this has already happened to you. You bet beer with a friend, you seal the deal, your team wins, but you end up empty-handed. Well, at AB InBev, we understand your pain, because when you don't get paid, we don't sell beers. So to end the odds of a default, we've launched Brahma Beer Bet. Through an innovative use of e-commerce, we condition the purchase and delivery of Brahma beers according to the match results. It's this simple. The football fan chooses a match, the winning team, and challenges a friend. Just after the match is over, the beers build onto the loser's card and delivered into the winner's house. Yeah, cold beer to celebrate the victory in less than 30 minutes. The service became the sports headline of the biggest Brazilian newspapers and also took over the social media as famous fans began to challenge each other.
Olha só, amigos, o que acabou de chegar aqui.
While some won and some lost, our delivery service reached the milestone of 1 million users, consolidating the best quarter ever in litres of beer delivered. But more than selling beers, Brahma Beer Bet became a continuous entertainment platform that puts the brand in the centre of fans' conversation match after match. Yeah, betting beer can be really fun for the fans. And it seems like a good deal for us, right?
Right, Vic, that seems like an undisputable case study that is just a rip-roaring success on every single level. A win-win, profits gone up, millions and millions of cans of beer bet and won. Or do you think there's some dark, mysterious truth lurking behind the headlines?
There's lots to like about this, lots to like. And I would, if I was judging awards, I'd be like, oh, this is a good campaign, definitely take interest. I also think it's quite genius in how it's spoken to sort of the current climate. Friends aren't necessarily allowed to be together, but they still want to engage on sports events. So I feel like they've gauged their audience and the timing well.
You know, to me, I think it would be much more interesting if they say, okay, now we partner with, you know, a betting house and, you know, we are extending the services or we're trying to bring people together, whatever it is, you know. So I think there is much more to it. I would have some questions on the detail. You know, Brazil is a very large place. You know, 1 million deliveries is probably not that much. But I think it's well executed. It's very much speaking to the heart of consumers, you know, specifically in Brazil.
Initial reaction was it's a really smart idea, like quite clever use of quite simple tech, really. I'm a bit of a natural skeptic, so like the numbers didn't really stack up for me. So they were really specific about the metric that was like it was like the most litres of beer they've ever delivered in a quarter or something. It was like 3.2 million litres of beer. So for me, that kind of made me think, what's the unit sold? What's the revenue? Like, what's the reason for people to really engage with this beyond it being a short-lived thing? Is it a discounted through the app and therefore that kind of gives a bit more of an incentive for people to keep going? On face value, really fun, really creative. I do question the numbers behind it and how much it actually delivered for the business.
I mean, just put in context, like São Paulo alone has like 26 million inhabitants. So, I mean, yeah, interesting. But, you know, how much do they actually add to the bottom line?
And so, Vic, you work for an insights platform. Do you think that this was based on a genuine consumer insight? There's that moment where the fridge door gets opened and the guy's like, oh, where's all the beer that I've won? Like, do you think that is something that it would have shown up in social to be like, God damn, my mates, whenever I win a bet, they never actually follow through? Or do you think that's like an agency thing where they've sort of made up an insight?
I don't think they've made up an insight here. I think it's grounded on a good concept of the consumers and where they're at in their lives. They can't get into big stadiums and do the usual. So I feel like it's grounded on good consumer understanding, but the agency have added this kind of slightly uncomfortable, it's crazy fun layer to it, which I get because that's what they're meant to do as an agency. So I don't think they've missed the mark on understanding their consumers.
And Alex, do you think that they should have mirrored some of the innovation and complexity within the gambling world? It's not just as simple as saying win or lose on a team these days. Do you think that they could have made it a lot more geeky, a lot more detail orientated, where bets could have been more simple than like my team will beat your team, or would have that been a step too far?
I think if you're going to add in some of the complexities of the betting industry, you'd probably lose people a bit further. I think the idea is simple enough. It's just I personally wouldn't have added anything additional to it. I think that might be an additional barrier to entry personally.
Vic, if this idea had landed on your table, what would have been your creative builds on this?
What's the point mid to long term would be my big one. I would be really interested to know what they were trying to change in terms of consumer behaviour or purchase intent, or were they looking for people to be ordering alcohol directly, or what's the long-term use of the app? I need it to live a bit longer if we're going to be investing in a piece of tech and an app, and what does that look like? I would want it built out a lot more.
To that point, Gian, is this a clever way of converting an audience that wouldn't normally order beer online? Like, because you got to download an app, then you've got to play a game with your mate, and then, oh, look how easy it is to order beer to my house. I'm making a ton of assumptions there, but could that be what this is trying to do? Is that kind of Trojan horse to get an app on people's phone to steer them away from other beer delivery services where the margin will be less?
I don't know. I think they try and sort of find some brand saliency here in a highly competitive market. To Vic's point, actually, what is a sort of long-term goal here? What's the point of differentiation? How are you really building on that brand saliency in the long run?
So, Alex, what do you think the industry should be learning from this concept?
So I think, it came from a quite a good consumer insight, and it was kind of keeping an eye out for those kind of trends and how you can be a bit more innovative with how you can get people to engage with their friends if they can't be kind of nearby. So I think there's elements around that, and turning insight into action. Really simple technology, but it can be used to deliver quite clever activation. So it doesn't have to be a mind-bending use of something completely new. It can be something that's really, really simple and easy to do, but actually it does lead to something that's quite clever.
And Jim, what will you be taking from this as a brand? Will you be taking anything from it like, oh, we need to be thinking in this unusual way, or is this just nice to observe?
Absolutely. I think the whole commercialization aspect of the campaign was really nicely done, despite us questioning the actual nitty-gritty in the numbers. And we, as an industry, we really want to get closer to the consumer. We want to be able to look at those conversion numbers. So I think the more we strive for that, the better it is. And the more consumers get used to the notion that they can have the sort of services and buying drinks, or whether it's beer or cocktails or services, whatever that might be, I think the better it is for the industry. So definitely taking that on.
I think I should learn to be more comfortable with things not having mid to long-term value. Actually, I think what we can learn as an industry is that it's okay to do things that are more short-term but reactive to really sort of strange situations that none of us had anticipated. So I think they've done really well to do something creative and fun, in response to how does anyone respond to this stuff? So I actually think I think we can learn that it's okay sometimes for things to be more short-term.
So what I'm going to get you guys to do now is to vote on how good you thought this execution was. I'm going to count to 3, and I want to hold your hands up with the number of points you would give it out of 5. 1, 2, 3. A 3, a 3, and a 2. There you have it. We would love to know what you think about this ad. So whether you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitter, please just put some comments below. But guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you next week.